What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Acid Trance, back with another Shnootz Roots and another all-time favorite of mine in the realm of Acid Trance. We're going to listen to a Mandala remix. I've mentioned before, Mandala is Tom Ware, otherwise known as Commander Tom, and Ray Boy, with whom he collaborated under a couple of different names, including Nexus 6. I'm still going to get to Ab Chic, wait for that one. But we're going to listen to a remix they did of a tune called X-Emption, X-Emption, by Gainforce. And Gainforce, one of the guys, it's Andreas Kettenbach, I believe, and Joachim Kiel. And Joachim Kiel, or Joachim Kiel, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Hopefully one of those is right. But he was involved in starting Time Unlimited, Noom, and Voodoo Records. Do I have that right? Do I have that right? Yeah, Time Unlimited, Noom, and Voodoo. He was involved in starting all three of those labels. And as I wrote on his Discogs page when I discovered this, I was like, yo, even if he wasn't an artist on many of the releases, although he is on some of them, especially the earlier ones, yeah, like the idea that someone like had a vision to start three labels that released that much great acid trance over the years, like, my God, just standing ovation for you, sir. But yeah, so the original is a Gainforce tune. It's him, again, Joachim Kiel, and Andreas Kettenbach. The remix, as I said, is by Mandala. So this is on the 50, I think it was like the 50th Time Unlimited release. And so, you know, I believe there's a couple different versions, but this is the picture disc, and the sort of the clock that you see here, it's a classic that was on, you know, all the Time Unlimited releases. So anyway, this is Gainforce X-Emption, although it says Emption, like they forgot the P. Yeah, basically, I think that's a typo, because I've seen it in many other places as Exemption, like with the P. Regardless, this is the Mandala remix. I believe this is 1996. Anyway, I first heard this on the Acid Trancecore double CD set, which was by the same company that did the Sound of Acid Core CD series that I've talked about in numerous releases. So again, this goes back to, you know, 97. This is like my earliest days. But let me see, once it starts and I make sure we're on the right speed, with that classic mournful... Is this 96? 96. What a surprise. There have been a couple occasions when I've sort of introduced people to acid music. Like one was a girlfriend at the time, and there was a couple other people who were like into punk rock and didn't really listen to this kind of music. And I remember when I wanted to explain what the acid sound was and the way it could do different things and the way it could be emotional, even though it's sort of like alien and liquid. This is a tune I've used to explain, like, this is what acid sounds like, and this is what acid can do. And now there's probably some of you out there, oh, but you should have like showed them this tune and this tune. I hear you. Feel free to write in the comments what tunes you would suggest to people to introduce them to acid for the first time. But as in terms of just like understanding the basic character of an acid sound, I feel like the intro to this record is really good. Where's my key? Not only was it over there, it was essentially empty. And watch how it just roars to life. The whole system turns on suddenly. But I would say that opening was very melancholic, right? It was, or at least sort of, you know, mysterious. But for me, there was a melancholy there. But now it's not that. It's like this acid dynamo. And you got the like really fast high percussion. Now this like rattling sort of layer. Oh, acid getting sharper, flashing harder. Now these sort of like percussive crickets. Meanwhile, the acid's like, stop focusing on other things. You hear what I'm doing. Again, in terms of like beginner's guide to the acid sound, I really do think this tune works in terms of like, see how it's lashing about, rising up and down, like, and there's multiple layers of it. You got the dynamo layer, and now the melodic sort of a bit melancholic layer. And again, notice how well they work together. Originally we heard them separately, and now they're layering in and around each other. Acid, or the percussive crickets, guide us into the next section. I remember listening to this tune with a couple friends of mine. These two girls from back in the day who, again, they were like more into hip-hop. They weren't primarily like ravers at first, although by the time they started hanging out with me and some of my friends, you know, they quickly started to go to parties. Remember this part, like, we were listening to it driving back from a party, I think, and they were like, dude, this is dope, I really like this track. To which I said, I concur. Or something to that effect. Love the escalation there. First time you hear it, you're like, oh wow, like, it's gonna burn hotter still. Now this fucking hard drone comes like through that layer. Like reinforces that layer. It's like a drone rebar in the melodic layer. Also like a rainy day. The way the drone kind of like gives me that like standing on a hilltop in the rain sort of feel. And again, the acid just lashing and bubbling and gurgling away. The acid in Mandala tunes is just first class, top rate. Dynamo dying, melody returning. Or mysterious acid riff. Dynamo coming back. Like those sudden rolls, very different from a typical roll leading into a new measure, right, or a drop. Normally it's like steady, but this is like, it comes in right at the end, it sort of changes speed, and then goes over the cliff and like the drop comes. Acid. Like the dynamo layer, I do like the acid, but now it's really... It sounds as good as it did 26 years ago. Now that... Love that ending. This is a weird reference, but there's a part of the movie Dead Poet Society where there's like this ambient score as they're like walking around the school. I think it's like super late at night. It sounds a lot like that. It really, like the tonal quality of the like electric sort of sound is very similar. Regardless, I love that record. I love every part about it. I love that long, sort of mysterious, a bit like melancholic intro. I love suddenly we get the acid dynamo going, then we're kind of blending the two, then we get that breakdown where again, there's the percussive crickets only for a moment, and then the melody starts to come in. The drop comes, then it kicks the melody up to that high level, and then the acid just you know, I mean, again, there's so much going on, but the acid the whole time is really trying to grab your attention with those lashes, and it, like, by the end, it's sort of like getting real twisted and like staccato. Regardless, it's another one of those tunes where it's the individual pieces and the totality of it. So yeah, it's a tune where I personally wouldn't change anything. I love the sequencing. I love the different parts. I love the layering. Yeah, it's an absolute classic. And there's a lot of Mandala tunes like that where literally it's like there's nothing I would change. And again, Nexus 6, same thing. Ab Chic, forget about it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. We got more Mandala / Nexus 6 coming. So I hope you're here for it. Like I said, Acid Trance forever. I will keep saying it to the end of my life. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good day. Have a good night. I'll see you next time. Peace.